Seguin. We haven't talked about Seguin in a while. I'm so sorry, everybody. I know people reach out to me, they email, they call, they text, and they're asking about Seguin. It's not always just about New Braunfels. So today we're going to talk about the top 5 pros and the top 5 cons of living in Seguin, Texas. Stick around. The cons, they might surprise you. All right, we're getting started right now. Hey y'all, it's Matt with Living in New Braunfels, Texas and the New Home Realty Group. Today we're talking about the top 5 pros and the top 5 cons of living in Seguin, Texas. You're obviously here on the channel because you're thinking about moving either to New Braunfels or the area, okay? If you are, all my contact information is down below. Make sure you give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. We'll be able to help you out like we've helped dozens of others. But today we're talking about specifically about Seguin, okay? We're gonna tackle the 5 cons first, all right? Let's talk about the bad before we talk about the good. So the top 5 cons of living in Seguin, number 1 is lack of job opportunities, okay? So it's a smaller town. Seguin has a population of around 30,000 or so as of 2021, so you're not gonna have as many job opportunities as you would say in, you know, just its neighbor to the north in New Braunfels that has more, or even Austin or San Antonio, and that's to be expected, all right? So some people might call it a bedroom community where people go and live there, right, for the lower cost of living, but then they go and work somewhere else. On the flip side of that, there are good job opportunities in Seguin, okay? Some of the biggest employers that you have is Caterpillar, you know, not the little worms that turn into butterflies, all right? But Caterpillar, the big heavy machinery equipment. There's good manufacturing jobs there. So you got Caterpillar, CMC, you also have Tyson Foods, yep, Tyson Chicken. So there's not a ton, but it's a big hub for manufacturing. So if you're looking for a job in manufacturing, then maybe you should consider Seguin living there. But as far as anything else, like the city of Seguin and the school district, those are some of the bigger employers. But other than that, I mean, there's not a whole lot. There's a Home Depot and a HEB that are some of like bigger employers as well. But you're not going to have as many opportunities as you would say a larger city. All right, the number 2 con that we're going to talk about is limited entertainment opportunities. So it's like one movie theater there, King Ranger, and I think there's still ZDT. But other than that, there's not a whole lot just of like entertainment opportunities for people to go and do. So a lot of times they'll go north to New Braunfels, or they'll go to Austin, they'll go to San Antonio, but maybe that's okay for you. You're not really looking for entertainment opportunities like, you know, movie theaters and such. And that's all right, but just keep in mind there's limited options for entertainment. All right, number 3, and this is going to be common in just about any smaller town, is there's no public transportation. All right, it just, I mean, New Braunfels doesn't even have it. New Braunfels is, you know, 100,000 people by now, but there is no public transport there. I mean, I kind of wish there was. Having, you know, traveled to other cities and stuff like that, there are public transportation opportunities, like a lot better than what you get, say, even in like San Antonio. But it's something that, you know, just about all cities could benefit from of some sort, you know, even a bus, a trolley, whatever, right? But there is no public transportation, and it's not always the most walkable. So if you need to go, you know, and buy groceries, and depending on where you live, like if you live over near TLU, then, which is Texas Lutheran University, then, I mean, you're going to have to walk all the way to HEB, and that's going to be like well over a mile or 2. There's also an Arlen's there, but they're not always the most walkable cities. I mean, that kind of stinks. And with the lack of public transportation, that forces you to either have a car. If you don't have a car, rely on a ride, or maybe even if there even is a taxi service, have to use that. But no public transportation. Hey y'all, you're all watching the pros and cons of living in Seguin, Texas. You're obviously thinking about moving here, moving to New Braunfels in this area. You're wanting to move, right? If you are, make sure you get a hold of me. All my contact information is down below. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, whatever you need. We'll be able to help you out like we've helped dozens of others. All right, sorry for the interruption, back to the video. All right, number 4 is gonna be the weather. This is gonna be just like this, just about anywhere in Central Texas, all right? The weather in the summer, like right now, it's May, it's freaking hot, okay? And it's gonna get worse. We're gonna get into the hundreds, we're gonna stay in the hundreds. You know, we've had years, we've had summers to where it's been in the hundreds for well over a month, like 30 plus days of being over 100 degrees is the high. And that's just going to happen. But while it does get hot like that, our lows, we have very mild winters. We had Snowvin in 2021 where like we just got blanketed with snow and we were all snowed in. Actually, my family and I were living in Seguin at the time. So yes, I've lived in Seguin. We don't live there anymore. We ended up buying just in another neighborhood. It wasn't because we wanted to get away from Seguin or anything like that. So yeah, while we have the mild winters, it does get really hot during the summer. But we also have a lot of sunshine. All right, so we got, you know, over 230 days of sunshine a year, which is very nice. It's really good for your serotonin levels and makes you happy. But yeah, it does get hot, but you can expect that just about anywhere you go in Texas. You know, even in North Texas, Panhandle, whatnot, it's going to get hot up there. I mean, up in the Panhandle, it gets hot and dusty and it's just right. But just keep that in mind when you're thinking about moving to Seguin, Texas. All right, the number 5 con, we're going to talk about healthcare services. While they do have a great hospital, Guadalupe Regional Medical Center is a great hospital. If you need specialized medicine or a specialized doctor, you're less likely going to find it in Seguin, and you're more likely going to find it possibly in New Braunfels. That's going to be the closest, or you're going to have to go into San Antonio, possibly even Austin. San Antonio is going to be a little bit closer. But that's to be expected also if you're looking to buy or looking to move to a smaller town, all right? They're not going to have those specialized doctors, those specialized services. And maybe you already know that, but that's just something to keep in mind, okay? Great hospital, and it's right there on Cord Street across from HEB, but for specialized doctors, you might have to drive a little bit. All right, we've discussed 5 cons. Let's talk about the 5 pros of living in Seguin. All right, the first one is people are proud to live in Seguin. The people that live there, they have like long history there. Their family's been there for a long time and they just love it, okay? There's a reason that they stay possibly. But yeah, there's people that just have pride in their city. All right. So you got families that go back generations that have been living in Seguin. And while Seguin, I mean, I remember when I worked for the New Braunfels Police Department, Seguin had kind of a bad reputation. It doesn't really have that reputation anymore. We jokingly called it Saigon. I mean, this was like 12, 13 years ago, but it's up and coming, right? It's doing a lot better. I mean, you've got tons of like new home builders and stuff, and we'll go into that are coming in. And, you know, if these big corporations are seeing the writing on the wall and they want to invest in a city, then that might, you know, might say something to you. But yeah, people are proud to live in Seguin, and it has that small town feel. It has that small town charm. A bit more than New Braunfels does, as a matter of fact. I mean, New Braunfels has that small town charm and that feel, and you can feel like a regular somewhere. But Seguin has that too. Like, one of my favorite things to do on the weekends was to go get breakfast tacos for the family, and I would go and try the different breakfast taco places, and everybody is just so nice and so genuine and so willing to help. And that's one of the benefits of living like in a smaller town, is getting to know the people and having that sense of community. And you know, you can really find that in Seguin. And I know people are going to come over here and trash that comment and say, oh no, Seguin sucks and whatnot. Watch, just look, come and check this video out later. People are going to be trashing it, oh whatever. But you know what, those are the people that kind of trash everything they see on the internet, and it doesn't matter. Don't listen to everything, you know, come and check it out for yourself. But it does have like that small town charm. All right, the second thing we're going to talk about as far as a pro is great outdoor recreation. Okay, we talked about a con not having like entertainment options, like movie theaters and stuff like that, but they have good outdoor recreation options. The Guadalupe River runs through Seguin, and in some of these places it's dammed and it widens up and they turn into like lakes, which it is just a smaller, you know, or not smaller, but a, you know, wider area of the river, and it's more still, and they call it a lake. So, you know, if you want like lake living, if you want to live on the water and you want to spend the money, then you've got that option. You've got places like, you know, Lake Placid, Lake McQueenie, and okay, there's been some work being done on the dams and everything right there. Some of the lake levels are a bit lower, a lot lower right now, but they're working to replace those dams and improve them. So, you know, as far as those lakes are concerned, then you've got skiing, jet skiing, fishing opportunities. Plus, you're also close to New Braunfels, which you got Schlitterbahn, you have the Comal, you have the Guadalupe River to go tubing on. And there's some great parks around here, and other like campsites and everything to go to as well that are just awesome to go stay at. You can go stay like in a teepee or a cabin like treehouse type thing. And, you know, it's just a really cool place. And a lot of people come from different areas to come and stay in those places, which is pretty cool. So Seguin does have a lot of good opportunities for outdoor activities. All right, the third pro is its proximity to San Antonio and to Austin. Okay, so Seguin is along I-10. We don't call it the I-10 or the 10 or whatever. If you're from California and you move here, just drop that, all right? So, but it's right along I-10. And the proximity to San Antonio and to Austin is awesome because you can go north and, or say even east on I-10. It's gonna be I-10 east. And then you're gonna hit the toll road and you can hit, you know, Austin pretty quick. Or you just go west on I-10 and, you know, within 15, 20 minutes, you're in San Antonio. So the proximity of those two is awesome. Plus just north, 15 minutes, maybe 20 to 25, depending on traffic on 46, right? You've got New Braunfels. So if you need something that you can't find in Seguin, then you're easily gonna be able to find it either in New Braunfels or San Antonio or in Austin. And if you need to fly somewhere, then just like I've talked about in my videos about New Braunfels, the pros and cons of living there, you know, you can go to Austin or you can go down to San Antonio. And I mean, we do that all the time. You know, I've talked about that whenever we're going to fly anywhere. I check prices and, you know, direct flights and everything out of San Antonio and out of Austin. And if, you know, San Antonio's a little bit closer for us, but if I can find something out of Austin that's either cheaper or more direct, then we'll fly out of Austin as well. All right, the number 4 thing, the pro we're going to talk about is housing. While we're going to touch on cost of living, the options for housing are a lot better than what they were just a few years ago even. So you've got new home construction builders that are coming in and putting in new neighborhoods, not just within the city, but outside the city, right? And those out of the outer ring of the city limits. They're still in the city limits, but in those rural areas that were in the city limits. And so before, like, I remember when I first got into real estate in 2016, there was only like one new home community at the time that was still building. And it was a D.R. Horton neighborhood down State Highway 123. That's already been built out, right? And a ton more coming up. Like there's a couple of more D.R. Horton neighborhoods. You got Perry Homes, you got KB, you have Castle Rock. Yeah, tons that are just going in. And so with these new home builders coming in, more people are moving there because they see that. They see the writing on the wall. We've been saying it. Seguin is where New Braunfels was like 10 to 15 years ago. So if you're able to get into something now and buy something now, just imagine the equity that you can have in 10 to 15 years whenever the demand is even higher. But yeah, a lot of opportunities to buy new construction homes. Granted, you can still buy the older homes that are going to be on these beautiful treed lots and everything. You know, I've had some clients that have bought those. I had one client that came from California. They're like, hey, we're sick of this. And they sold their house. I remember they sold their house and it was, I think, a less than 1,100 square feet for around $800,000 in California, in LA County. And they bought something here for under $600,000 that was bigger, like twice as big. It was over 2,000 square feet on around 4 acres with a pond. Okay, that's going to cost you a little bit more now. That was a couple of years ago. It's going to cost a little bit more now, but still, for what you can get for your money here is awesome. But yeah, a lot of new home construction opportunities that are coming in, and they're going up all over the place. And while you've got a couple of them that are going to be in Seguin Independent School District, you've got even more that are going to be in Navarro ISD, Navarro Independent School District. And if you haven't heard of Navarro, the ratings for that school district, go check them out, okay? So that's the number 4 that we're talking about is the pros, is like just a lot more opportunity to buy newer homes in Seguin. All right, and the number 1 pro we're going to talk about is the cost of living. The cost of living is just lower than what it is in, say, even New Braunfels, San Antonio, and Austin. So you can buy a house for a lot cheaper. You can have the same builder, the exact same builder, and the exact same floor plan from, like, say, Perry Homes, and you're going to be spending tons less in Seguin than you would, say, in New Braunfels. It's unreal. It's unreal, guys. You've got to go check out the prices, but not just the housing, but your food, utilities, and all that's going to be lower here. That's kind of one of the nice things too. And the biggest chunk is going to be the cost of living for houses, right? If you're looking to buy a house, then, you know, I've got people that have contacted me all the time and they're like, hey, we want to buy this, and this is our, you know, we want to live in the area and this is what our budget is. I'm like, hey, you need to check out Seguin. You should check out these builders right here. And look, this is the same, and I'll send it to them. I'm like, hey, look, this is the same builder. And it could be Perry Homes. I love Perry Homes. I talk about them a lot, but I'm a big fan of them, right? So it could be Perry Homes, and I'm like, look, this is what you're going to end up spending in New Braunfels, in Verimindy, or in Vintage Oaks, but this is what you're going to be spending in, say, in the Village of Mill Creek here in Seguin. So, you know, if it's not going to be your forever home, which very likely it won't be, okay? Maybe it's going to be your next home, or your first home in Texas, or your very first home, period. All right? You're typically, most buyers, you know, they stay in their home for 5 to 7 years and then they sell, either because they're moving or they're moving up, right? So don't sleep on Seguin. You'll be able to get a very nice new home, especially like a Perry home, a lot cheaper than you will in New Braunfels. I love both. I love New Braunfels. I love Seguin. All right. But if you want to get more bang for your buck, check out Seguin. All right, guys, that's the top 5 pros and the top 5 cons of living in Seguin, Texas. If you're thinking about moving here, anywhere in Texas, actually anywhere, all right, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. All that contact information is down below. We'll be able to help you out like we've helped dozens of others. Until next time, y'all take care. We'll see you in the next video.